Okay, so last week you touched a little bit on the three branches of government, and you talked about how there were different plans brought together to make our three branches of government. So we're going to hit those again. So your first branch is the judicial branch. The judicial branch decides if laws are fair or if they're constitutional. So they decide if new laws that come out, if they meet our Constitution. So they decide if new laws, if they fit, if they meet them, if they're fair, if they meet our Constitution. The executive and the judicial branch includes, at the federal level, it's our Supreme Court. The executive branch, they enforce the laws. So they're the ones who put the laws into play. So at the federal level, that's our president. At the state level, that would be our governor. And at the local level, that would be our mayor. The legislative branch, they're the ones who make the laws. So they make the laws, the executive branch enforces them, the judicial branch makes sure that they're constitutional. The legislative branch has two houses. There is the Senate, and no matter what the population of a state is, there are two senators per state. So in one of your lessons on PLP, it showed Texas and it showed New Hampshire, and it showed, the difference in the size of the states and the population. Regardless of the size of the population, each state gets two senators. They get to go to Washington, D.C. Now, the House of Representatives, the number for that is based on how many people there are. So, Alaska is not going to have nearly as many representatives as California because they don't have nearly as many people that live there. So, your House of Representatives, the number of representatives each state can send is based on how many people are in that state. There are three branches, and they each do something different, but they all follow a system of checks and balances. So they balance each other out. None of these branches is more powerful than the other, and the legislative branch can't just make all kinds of laws without the judicial branch checking them to make sure they're constitutional. The executive branch can't decide they're going to enforce a bunch of stuff without the legislative branch and the judicial branch checking them. Judicial is a tough word to say today, apparently. So everybody follows checks and balances, and each branch does something different, but they're not more powerful than the other. In our three levels of government, you have your federal government, which is the whole country, your state government, and then your local government. So we have our federal government in the United States, and then we have our state level government for Kentucky, then we have our local government for Fleming County or Flemingsburg.